Hello, everyone. I am going to be talking about some of the tips in the tips section of my book, Post Traumatic Unemployment Disorder: How I Fought for a Six-Figure Severance in One. Let me just go through the sections in the corporate tips, corporate survival section. So you have career, the employee manual, company benefits, and company perks and discounts, basic practices at a company, communication, beware, work habit and work ethic, gaining even more favor, managers, the manager assistants, events that are not company related, LGBT, and let's see, is this the last section now? Management aggression, just some words of wisdom. The employee hotline, legal and negotiating severance during a battle. So these are the sections within the corporate survival tips. You can get the corporate survival tips by going to post traumatic unemployment disorder dot com excuse me dot com, inputting your email address, and you will receive the tips section. Also note that the same tips, are in my book, Post Traumatic Unemployment Disorder, which you can get online. Let's see. I'm just going to read a few of these and discuss them. These are observations and lessons that I have learned during my 20 years in corporate America. You may find some of these helpful on your corporate journey. You should feel comfortable in your seat. That is, the job, the profession, the tasks, and the company, but especially in your general profession. Oprah talked about her jobs as an anchor, talked about her job as an anchor woman and as a talk show host. She said in all of her positions, she did not feel quite comfortable in her seat until she was given the position as a talk show host. I agree with her that you should feel comfortable with your job and what you are doing. Um, I don't. There are a lot of celebrities I really don't listen to or take their advice. That particular piece of advice I thought was outstanding. So Oprah was talking about, she started as a news anchor, and she said that when they gave her the television show, um, her first day, she was extremely comfortable. And one of the things I'll tell people is that I have a good friend who's an accountant, who was an accountant and didn't like it. First thing is you have to like what you're doing, the profession. Then you have to like the company. Then you have to like the manager. So you have to feel comfortable in your seat in the company, which a lot of people do like their companies because the companies have great benefits. A lot of people are very unhappy with their managers though, so you have to feel comfortable with your manager. But even before you get to that state, you need to like what you're doing. That's so important. If you don't like what you're doing, I advise you to keep looking, keep exploring, or keep keep going down that trail because you'll never really be happy. You'll never be comfortable in your seat. Always try to get one or two big name companies on your resume. Excuse me, my throat. Um, this is so important, and I say this because corporations, well, first of all, when companies recruit, it looks great to have a large, at least one large company name on your resume. And then you can have a bunch of companies that other people don't know or that are smaller. But what a corporation does is what I call corporatizing you. They typically send you through a training. They teach you professionalism. You learn urgency. You learn. A lot of people are not aware of this, but you're actually learning how to conduct yourself during conference calls. You're learning a number of different tasks in comparison or in competition with other people when you were brought on board. So always seek that, and I'll share an instance or two. I work for a smaller company, and a lot of those people, there's a smaller marketing advertising company, marketing agency, and a lot of those people, 90% of them, did not come from a large corporate background. So when I went and attended some of their meetings, they had no agenda. Um, the meetings were all over the place. Even they were frustrated. It was very amateur. So, and I knew exactly why. So I'm a big believer in going after that corporate experience. I also was speaking to a friend of mine, and she had an office mate, and this office mate was a young lady, and she felt frustrated because she wasn't given much direction. This was also at a smaller company too, and the young lady wound up leaving. And other people were telling her, "Well, you're getting a paycheck. What's the big deal?" But she did the right thing. She should have left. She should have started her career, if she could have, at a major company, uh, and then gotten that foundation. And if she had brought that foundation into the company that she's in now, she had to do that she was in. All she had to do was just do the job, just execute the job however she wanted to do it, because there were, I presume that there weren't that many managers around or people engaged in her development. But you need that development first. You need someone developing you, coaching you, telling you what not to do, explaining to you how to think professionally and systematically. And she wasn't getting that at the smaller job. So I 100% agree about her departure, particularly for someone who's 22, 23, 24, 25. 26, 27, anybody under 30. Some of you may think it's okay for you to be sitting at a company and just drawing a paycheck, and your manager's not really talking to you or developing you. That is not good. Your manager should be giving you projects, developing you, mentoring you, challenging you, giving you responsibilities. If that is not the case, you need to depart. Sometimes it depends on how developed the company is. Sometimes you can ask for more work, and sometimes the company may not have it. May not the manager may not have more work for you. Sometimes what they'll do is a company will say, "Well, we want to be like this other company that's larger, and they have a business analyst, or they have a social media manager. So we're going to go get one." So they go get one, but they don't know how to manage and direct that younger person to execute when they probably should have gotten somebody with more experience. So mm, always make sure that you are being directed, mentored, developed, and given challenging assignments, even if they're really, really, really challenging. You should always be challenged. Always be ready to move when a manager slash company asks you to. If you do not, you could face termination. It may be seen as the company has a need and you are not helping, or your department may be overstaffed and your manager needs to move employees around, or your division may be experiencing some budget constraints or performance issues, and your manager is trying to keep you employed but is not communicating the underlying issue. So, eh, I just don't want to transfer will not work. Nine times out of 10, it is not really an option. They are telling you that they need you to move. Let me repeat that. They are telling you that they need you to move. And I actually have a friend who was in that very situation in a very good company. They said, we need you to move to Austin. And she said, Austin. No, let me rephrase that. They didn't say, we need you to move to Austin. They said, would you like to go to Austin? And she said, not, no, not really. And about a month later, they let her go. I'm very fortunate. I would have detected that. And I'm very fortunate because I distinctly remember my undergraduate chair department coming in and speaking to students. And he specifically said, when a company asks you to leave or asks you to transfer, they are really not asking you. So if I had been in her position, if I had been she, I I would have gone. I would have gone and taken the severance. And I was actually in a situation like that. As I think about it, I was asked to transfer to Australia, and I did. I didn't hesitate, and that one was very clear for me because it was the stock market was crashing, and there were plenty of layoffs in New York on Wall Street. I was on Wall Street at the time, and I knew that if I had taken that particular job, I would be in a safe shelter while they were doing the terminations, and that's exactly what happened. They terminated probably about 20% of the staff, but I had already had my assignment, so I was fine, and they paid for shipping. They paid for everything to go to Australia, and that was a great experience. And after a little while, I came back. But the point is, as young professionals and middle management professionals, I don't want you to be blindsided. I want you to understand and decode, understand and decode corporate communication, whether it's aggressive or passive or just general communication. You need to understand it. And the last one under career, let's see, get yourself a career coach as early on in your career as possible to help you guide, excuse me, as possible to help guide you through each week of your employment. Use all the help you can to excel. So I tell this story all the time. I'm going to tell it again. I got my first bonus when I was in New York, and I said, hey, I'm going to get some Ferragamo shoes. And I wound up going to the Ferragamo shop. Then they were like $200. And I got three pairs. They were really, really nice shoes. And I look back and I chuckle. I had no financial savvy, no anything along those lines outside of textbook corporate finance theory. That was money not well used. But at that particular time, I had no clue in the 90s. So I spent 20 years in corporate. Back then, I had no clue as a young graduating student what a career coach was. That was something that executives had, executive level career coaches. But I really encourage you to get a career coach, speak with that career coach at least once a week. I'm available on my website, but everything that you say, everything that you wear, everything that you do, it is being evaluated. And when I went into management, I was shocked at how much they talked about other employees. So when they went to lunch 7 days a week and on the weekends, they did not talk business. They did not talk business. They talked about other employees. So when you're younger and you're going to lunch with everybody who's an analyst or an associate, just talking in general, um, maybe you're talking about the manager, or maybe you're talking about a project or what have you, or the weekend. They are specifically talking about employees, whom they're going to terminate, who's good, who's weak, who's strong, what somebody said in a meeting, um, who's going to be terminated. It's just constant. You are being critiqued. So every word that you say is very important. Every response, every reaction, every blow up is being calculated and recorded. Your attire, um, definitely whether you're late, early, of course, the quality of your work, how friendly you are, whether you smile, um, whether you are polite to the other assistants, whether you're polite to other people, whether you're helpful, the quality of your responses in terms of your intelligence and experience around the content. There's so there's so many things that people consider before they say, I like you, I don't like you, I'm going to side with you, I'm going to align with you, I'm going to defend you, or I'm going to throw you under the bus. So, questions, feel free to DM me. Also, you can go to my website, Post Traumatic Unemployment Disorder. You can send me an email there. You can also book a session. Thank you.